All right, welcome once again to a brand new episode of
Nothing but worry.
with your hosts Lance and Bonnie Ash.
Hello.
Now, we got something special planned for a little bit later, but first of all, as usual, let's do the catch up. How's your week been?
Less productive than the week before, but still productive.
Okay,
Yours?
very productive. I'm just well, anyway, been
Was it 7 trash bags full of productive? Because that's what mine was.
Well, it's just I've been making a conscious effort to maintain my mental focus while I'm working. And what that involves basically is staying on top of coming up with entries for the little book, which I'll be talking about a little bit later on anyway. God, something is really in my throat now. But anyway, as usual, Friday morning, we're Friday evening now, but got off work this morning, ready for the weekend, and just had a hard time sleeping. I actually did wind up sleeping a little bit later on. But yeah, very productive week. I want to mention something. I told Bonnie this earlier. I reached a point in my online magazine, which is basically what I do on my breaks and lunches at work, and I've reached a point in the magazine where I'm starting to have fun with it. The kind of fun I used to have with my old online comic strip Doodle Nose from my old blog. And it is just such a delight to have something that's working and that you're engaged with and just fun to draw and fun to write. And this last issue is number 40. And unlike usual, the whole process of scanning it in and posting it on the blog wasn't as tedious as usual. So anyway, yeah, very good week for me.
I've always considered myself an organized person, and this week I've regretted it. Part of the organization was that I kept documented records. And so this whole process of us clearing out some things means that I've gone through boxes upon boxes of medical records, old bills of different types, and that 7 bags of stuff that I threw out was shredded paper. You had your first surgery when Peter was born.
Right.
Well, your first during our marriage. I have kept everything. I found bank statements. I found banking ledgers. I found medical stuff since when we were over at the old house. And we've been here how long now? 20, what years? 22, 23 years?
It's a little over 22 years.
So I've just kept everything in these boxes. And so I wanted to get rid of these boxes of things. And it was overwhelming. I have since changed the way that I handle paperwork, but I have not dealt with the past paperwork. When anything comes into the house now, I put it either in a shred pile, in a recycling pile, or immediately pay it, or file it in with a little medical thing that I have where we have our medical records, because you never know if they're going to come back and go, you didn't pay this. But more than that, I scan images as PDFs now. And so I just label them the year, 2026, the initial L or B for who it is, then like med for medical, and then the date of service, and then the doctor's name. And so I scan that now. I have a record of it on the EOB that we get. It says how it was paid and when it was paid. And then I walk away. I shred the rest of it. And so I've got a better method going forward. But this week having to go through decades of paperwork and shredding it was overwhelming. And while it was productive, I didn't feel it was as productive as the week before because all I did was empty boxes. I didn't actually rearrange things, organize things, etc. I just cleared up space, which is a positive thing.
Okay.
How's your week at work then?
Well,
There's been some issues at work.
I don't know. All this shit. Our supervisor's a moron. You don't.
And she's been lying
You
to
don't.
you guys.
Yeah, you don't make decisions based upon your getting emotionally upset about some interaction or altercation with an employee. It's just not good.
And what did she say about punishment?
I don't want to get into it, but this.
Collective punishment. Call it what it is.
Yeah, she made a decision which would adversely affect the work.
The whole team.
And I'm like, so everybody has to be
affect
punished
her.
because of your problems with this one employee? Yes, everyone must be punished. Yes, everyone must pay the price.
This is a woman who doesn't even help out. She doesn't do the work.
She just sits on her butt and watches stuff on the computer all day long, all night long. But anyway, I'm so isolated mentally from the job. I'm just doing the job, you know. And so I don't get riled up by it because I'm so trying to keep myself like in a zombie state while I'm there, basically.
Well, you were fortunate that she didn't work several nights this week, and you had a really good supervisor that came on board.
Yeah.
You said his approach is a lot different. He actually pays attention to what's going on the dock.
You know, walking around, seeing what's here, what's there. Go to this
What needs
area
to
of
be
the
done
building,
next.
that area. Yeah. Yeah.
And she doesn't even bother with any of that stuff.
No, I think somebody put a flea in her ear about it because a couple of days ago she stood and watched everybody for about 15 minutes until she got tired of standing and watching, and then sort of slunk off to do her regular thing. But I have a rather long-winded treat here for everybody. So in keeping with the magazine, also just this feeling of delight over this phase I've reached in doing it, I decided to go back through some of the old issues. And there's a mention in one of the issues of Little Book number 40. And so I thought, that's interesting. I'll pull up. See, I keep a notebook with me that I write down what I call entries in. Just bizarre word jumbles that later can be used for titles or poems or anything. They can be used for anything, song lyrics. And I'm currently on Little Book number 59, but the thing mentioned Little Book number 40, so I got it out. And I found this gem in the back. Now, a lot of the time, each page is just a collection of random gibberish. But sometimes it is a cohesive statement. Could be a little story, could be anything. And so now this is from the latter half of 2020 into the beginning of 2021. All right, I'm going to read this to you. Now, the reason this is sort of a treat is because when I read this today, I decided, you know what, I think I'll do a little video of me reading some of this old stuff, maybe 15 minutes worth of this stuff. Okay, this is titled, What Did I Eat? A combination of Jaws and The Deep. You know Nick Nolte screwed Jacqueline Bisset during the filming. But did Roy Scheider screw Richard Dreyfuss? So quiet in one, so dramatic in the other. Poor Robert Shaw. The giant fish is the enemy in one, man's greed in the other. But a combination, something set in Charleston, South Carolina. The monster is on land, keeping the people on the boat from coming ashore. Quick-witted, menace, The New Yorker, cartoons, primitive resistance, painkillers, go for broke, Tom Hanks as the old grizzled veteran, no woman.
The next Thomas Pynchon. Wow.
It's an idea for a film. What do you think?
Interesting.
I presaged the what do they call it? The mansosphere or anti-feminist movement by several years, because a long time ago I was talking to this woman at work and I said, women ruin movies, because if a woman is in the cast of the movie, there's going to be love interest, or there's going to be rescue the damsel in distress type thing. And she God, I can't remember what she said to me. Oh, she was just like, you are real something. I can't remember what she called me. Anyway,
Who was this you were talking?
it was Maureen.
Oh Lord.
Oh, she said, you're not a romantic, are you? Something like that.
Well, the thing is that now, while you've kept to this idea, you also will shun those who are critical of women being in movies.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not a anti-feminist. I am a feminist. But my point is, these guys today, they're like, well, when you put a woman in a movie, it necessarily means the diminution or the subjugation of a male character. Anytime you give a woman a lead role, or she's playing the leader of the team, now the men are in the film are debased. And it's just such horseshit. But my thing was, in an adventure movie, you just want it to be a gang of guys fighting the monster or whatever. You don't want somebody falling in love or whatever, you know.
Huh. Or maybe you want her holding her weight.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing about the Alien movies. Sigourney Weaver, there's no bullshit. You know, she's.
Well, supposedly it was just the last names, and everybody just read the
in
the
the original,
parts.
yeah.
So it was no gender assigned. But Peter and I watched Conan, the original Conan the Barbarian movie, and the woman in there holds her own. She kicks ass, you know. But they do turn it into a love lust kind of thing between her and Conan.
Yeah, they have that sex scene between the two of them, showing that they are now an item, and it's just like, it really doesn't need to be there. You know, maybe they could just be friends. You know, she comes back from the dead to offer him aid at the very last minute so he can defeat his enemies, but she could just do that because they're friends. You know, not because necessarily they're life partners or whatever. I mean, remember Subudai, the Asian dude, in real life, Latino, but he comes to rescue him because they're friends. He, puts his life on the line for him.
I agree. Oftentimes, the whole sex gets in the way of some of the storylines.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what was so interesting about Alien, the first movie, was I don't think there was a single ounce of gender issues.
There's one.
In the second movie, she takes on a maternal role when she goes to save the girl.
Mm-hmm.
And it's woman versus woman. Get away from her, you bitch. The idea that it's woman against the female alien.
And the thing is, if you don't watch the extended version of that movie, you don't get the full import of why she's so determined to take care of the little girl. You find out that she went on this mining space mission to make money and left her little daughter alone or home, knowing that she wouldn't see her for like 15 years. It turns out her daughter grew up without her, became old and died, and never saw her again. That's why she was so crazy to save the kid. But I forgot what I was going to say. But anyway, I know what I was going to say. There is one little scene in the first movie where Dallas and Ripley are talking down in the computer room, and they just for a second they look at each other like there might be a little chemistry between them. Yeah. Oh, me. Can't believe he was the nutty Vietnam vet in Up in Smoke. Remember that?
Not really. He's the kind of paranoid guy, and
He's
he
got that
thinks
birthmark on his face.
There's an attack
Yeah.
going on. Yeah.
But the funniest line. They go over there to buy some pot from him, and Cheech says to him, "Now look, he's got this birthmark on his face, and he's really touchy about it. So don't stare at it." So they go in there and they're talking to him, and he's all like paranoid and shaky and looking at him suspicious. And he goes, "What you looking at, man?" And John turns to Cheech right in front of him and goes, "I wasn't looking at his neck."
Oh my god. Miss Stacy Keach was in that, right?
Stacy Keach.
Now, is that before or after he had his pot issues?
Oh, before. Like 5, 6, 7, 8 years before. Yeah. That was a good show. Mike Hammer was a good show. And, I think they filmed it partly in the UK, and he brought some pot, or I think it was pot.
Now, did Robert Mitchum go through a phase where he got outed for smoking pot?
Back in the
something?
40s, he got busted for, back then it wasn't that big of a deal.
It was just associated with the black community. They tried to make it seem as if white people wouldn't do something like that.
Right, yeah. White people are pills and booze, but not this dirty reefer.
Jesus.
You can quantify pills and booze. I had so many grams, I had so many ounces. But pot, who knows what that's in that stuff.
I was living out of the country at one point, and I was at this place, and this guy offered me some weed. And he goes, "But I gotta tell you, it's cut with," and he said some kind of name. And I said, "I think I'm going to pass on it then." Come to find out, it was some kind of psychedelic that people use, I think, in Puerto Rico. Anyway, he had crumbled it up and was smoking the shit. He was out of his mind.
It's fascinating. You got the Caribbean and all those islands, all those different basic nations, and you think, you don't think about it at first, but each one of those island nations has its own distinct characteristics. And they must think, oh, well, the people over in Puerto Rico, they're like this, or whatever. International rivalries amongst them. They got to be right.
Yeah, particularly when they share an island, and with Dominican Republic and Haiti, there's the Spanish versus French sort of thing. It's them versus us. The dirty, filthy ones versus we who have roads that are paved. And then the one Saint Martin, Saint Martin, the one that's divided with Dutch and French or something, they're not as divided. But the thing is though, on all of these islands, as well as throughout South and Central America, you have the skin color gradation. The closer you are to white, to being a blanc, the further away you are from being black or dark-skinned. They have a caste system in most of these societies.
Besides Puerto Rico and the American territories, do the other islands down there interact and trade with Cuba?
Some of them do. See, Cuba has a relationship where it sends doctors into a wide number of communities in Central and South America. That includes the Caribbean. And that was part of the thing that Castro wanted to do. He wanted to show that we are going to share the wealth of our communist state, that is, the education of our people who became doctors and nurses. We're going to send them out to the colonies here, the countries here in this region, and we're going to show them the benefits of our society. So that was a very positive thing. when I was down there in '94, Cuba was just beginning to open up in a lot of different ways. Like Canada, you could always already go from Canada to Cuba with no problems. But the U.S. still was having some restrictions, but they began to allow journalists from America with American credentialed journalists to go in. And I had a friend of mine that was heading in, beginning of '95, was going to go into Cuba at that point as an American journalist. But yeah, it's varying degrees.
Well, earlier tonight, normally on the weekends, we'll take an evening and listen to music together, but things got a little bit screwed up today.
We had a bad schedule today.
Yeah, so we listened to music briefly, and we listened to for the first time for me in a long time, listened to the entirety of the Beastie Boys Mix-Up album.
It was really good.
It is. It's a really, really good record. It's all instrumental.
Of course, you start off with the song for me.
B for My Name.
That's right. I told Lacey she's going to make me a mixtape with B for my name, and then Super Bon Bon.
That's
And,
okay.
But still, you call me Bon Bon every once in a while, and I've been called Bon Bon throughout the years. So I thought that was kind of funny.
But more normally it's old woman.
Shut up, old man.
Old girl. But I've said for a long time I want to hear Clutch cover Super Bon Bon, but I heard something day or two ago. I also want them to cover, and I can't think what the hell it is now. It's something more talky. Was it? It wasn't Bjork, was it?
I don't know.
Oh, you know what? I think it
Sold Me Down the
was.
River.
I think it was.
What?
Army of Me by Bjork. I was like listening to that today. I was like, you know what? Clutch could tear the hell out of this song.
Do you think they could do a good cover of "Sell Me Down the River"?
Yeah.
Who's that by again?
Stone Temple Pilots.
Yeah,
It's called Kitchenware and Candy Bars.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And that guitar solo is just a prime example of how you don't need a whole bunch of notes. It's just a tone and an attitude and just the right twist to the notes. Same as on I can't think of the name of the song. It's the Rammstein album, on the album Rosenrot, the one about the guy on the bridge threatening to jump. And the guitar solo is just two notes. Da-na. But the way they're delivered is just amazing.
Well, you played, what was it, Cheap Sunglasses by ZZ Top today?
Yeah.
And there was just some amazing guitar work. And of course, they were just awesome anyway.
Yeah, and he has said that Billy Gibbons has said tone is, a huge percentage of the whole.
Is that the one where it sounds like the bass is dragging down?
It gets
everybody to
slower,
the
and
end?
it's
just
deliberately
pulling
at the
song
end. There,
down and
Yeah.
down.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Yeah, it's
Dun.
really good.
Yeah. Yeah, that was when I first heard that. I was listening to it in the car with my cousin, and when he goes woo woo woo, he pointed to that. He goes, "Watch, this is coming up," and he does it. I almost got goosebumps when I heard it for the first time. I was like, "That is really bizarre." To throw that in there like that. Oh man, just in your mind. And I hate to do this in this age of AI, but in your mind, you fantasize what would it have been like if, Donald Fagen could have played with Billy Gibbons, or these fantasy covers you want to hear people do, like you want to hear the Cult do this or whatever. Oh, who was it we said, or did we even say, could cover the Cure's song Lullaby? Because that would be great for some heavy band to do.
I don't know, but the thing that we bemoan...
Ghost should do it.
Yeah. The one that we bemoan now that you can't do it. 3 people singing together: Peter Murphy, David Bowie, and Scott Walker.
Yeah.
For the what brothers? Which one?
Walker
Or was it
Brothers.
Walker Brothers?
Yeah. God, you just mentioned something. Oh, I always wanted to hear Ozzy sing "Lonely Is the Word," the song that Dio did.
Now there is that album, that group that does Ants in the Kitchen.
Yeah.
What is their name?
Masters of Reality.
They have that one song about Robin.
I wish I was a bird.
Yeah,
Birds can fly.
I want Paul McCartney to cover that.
Yeah, that'd be great. You know, he is so up there in the pantheon, though. He doesn't stoop to doing just any old cover, because I'm sure 1,000 people have suggestions of what he should cover.
Didn't he have a song? Was it Blackbird?
Yeah,
So
and then he
that's
later had
the
a song called
reason
Bluebird.
Yeah, and so I thought this song would be appropriate. Anyway, now is there a cover album of Paul McCartney's solo work? Did anybody cover it? Has anybody done covers? Any?
Well, you know, the Faces did Maybe I'm Amazed, and they just did it amazingly.
Was there ever an album of covers
Oh, I'm sure.
dedicated to him?
Yeah, I'm sure there is. You know, like a
Same
tribute
way-
album, you mean?
Yeah, in the same way that Johnny Cash had.
Well,
Everybody did.
I
Johnny
thought you meant
Cash
like
songs.
the Kiss My Ass album, where they got like 15 different people covering different Kiss
Fuck
songs.
Kiss.
Oh, Kiss was all right for what they were.
You know I hate you.
Well,
Republican sexist pig that he is.
yeah, but
Sorry.
that doesn't
Sorry.
destroy the whole band for me. You know, Paul McCartney's. I'm not Paul McCartney. Paul,
Which one of them
Paul
died
Stanley.
recently?
Ace Frehley died, and that's another thing. I wish I could have heard Ace jamming on something, or just improvising something over the type of material he wouldn't normally do. You know, put together some like Earth, Wind, and Fire type band and have him solo over that. You know, see how good he really was.
Did we listen to some Jimmy Page lately?
No.
Oh, it was that interview I saw part of. Jimmy Page being interviewed by Jack White?
That
And-
movie just, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, he was talking about Kashmir, I think it was.
Yeah, but that, you know, that album, I mean, that movie, you've got The Edge, Jimmy Page, and Jack White. And they only threw in Jack White because he was the flavor of the month. He was the hot thing. And everybody was like, well, clearly he's going to be a big guitar hero for decades to come. Psst, fizzled out, like everybody does now, because nobody can have a career anymore.
Well,
Don't put somebody like that in there with two people
he-
who've been
he
around
at
for 50
least-
years.
Tried to stretch his wings. He tried different genres. He went on a couple of different, do compilations with other people and stuff. He did that, what was it, Cold Mountain folk music kind of thing. So, he did do that. He did stretch out a bit.
Yeah, well, the days when you're going to have the privilege of watching a major artist change and develop and mature and grow over the course of 2 and 3 and 4 decades, those days are over. Because, with technology democratizing more and more the creation of art, everybody who's ever wanted to be a rock star is going to be able to, or make a movie. A long time ago, Francis Ford Coppola said, with technology democratizing the process, one day an 8-year-old girl is going, or I don't know what, like 10-year-old girl is going to make a movie in her backyard with a camera that she bought for like $20, and it's going to be a better movie than anything Hollywood put out that year. And that's true. It's going to happen one day.
Apparently, Werner Herzog is selling himself to X number of people. If you pay $10,000, you can join him on some little expedition somewhere and get filmmaking advice. And I thought, Jesus fucking Christ. Is he that hard up? Or is this something else? I didn't read the article.
I don't know. It's probably some sort of stunt in a way to jumpstart his career. You know, he probably might get a documentary out of it or something.
Another documentary?
Probably. Oh my God! You know, there is a British artist named Alan Davies. I'm not a big fan, but anyway, some of these pictures of him posing with some of his artwork, and he's got this. He's an older man, and he's still wearing a T-shirt and sort of like cargo pants, and he's got a long white beard and like sad puppy dog, big fluffy eyebrows, and I thought, you know, I don't. I'm kind of looking forward to getting old. Because I don't fear getting old like some people do.
Today I looked in the mirror and realized that my eyebrows have gotten the old effect, where they're graying and they can't be controlled, and so they kind of like shoot out at different angles, and sometimes it's completely perpendicular to the damn face. And I've gotten to the point where I just keep a pair of scissors next to the mirror. I'm just like clipping them off because there's no way to control them. I don't like all aspects of getting old, dear.
I don't mind. It's better than dying, to be honest with you. But Bonnie pointed something out today that I've realized I need another haircut, but I am not spending any more money. I spent $20 last time, and she didn't cut it short enough. I thought she did at the time, but, well, it has been 4 weeks, so of course it's grown out some.
Yeah, but even then, the way it's blocked in the back is wrong. And part of it had to do with the fact that she's trying to cover up a thing or two.
Look, I'm just,
And
like I told Bonnie, if you're going bald, there's no point trying to hide it.
Just embrace
it. Do it. You know, there it is. Who gives a shit? You're never going to get any more 20-year-old pussy again anyway. So,
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
I said,
What?
never going to go hiking again.
Yes.
So anyway, I'm going to get Bonnie to cut my hair short-ish.
And she shaves it all off. No, we are not doing cue ball.
That's what my sister said. Just shave it all off. No, I'm not going to go bald or crew cut. I can't stand that.
Are you seeing your sister this weekend?
I'm going to try to, but I just don't know if I'm going to be able to swing it. I've got shit to do, and I've got sleep to catch up on, and Bonnie made the Kashmiri collard greens, and I haven't had any yet, and I got to eat those.
And they're so hot. I put in 2 of these chilies, and I taste them, and it just scorched my tongue. It was so pungent in flavor. Normally, I eat them up.
She bought these dried red chilies at Buford Highway Farmers Market.
No.
Where would you get them?
I got them up at the ones in November we went to. Those 2 wasn't Buford. It was one of the Indian groceries.
Cheerians or Patel Brothers?
It was Patel Brothers.
Oh, when we went to the ones that we don't normally go to.
Yes.
Anyway, so she put them in a great big mason jar. Okay?
Yeah.
And she opened the lid today. I said, oh, let me smell. It's this wonderful, like an old wooden building. If you've ever been in like a 100-year-old wooden building, and the wood has this just wonderful, rich smell to it. Those dried chili peppers in that jar, exuding that aroma. Oh my God, it's wonderful.
They aren't even the hottest I got. I got some kind of Thai chilies that are like 10 times the heat of the ones I put in there today.
Huh.
These are the Mexican
When I was a little kid, I
something.
was terrified of hot sauce and terrified of anything hot, even like onions, But today I can't get enough.
I bought you some sweet onions. I hope they're going to be okay.
Oh, I can't wait because I love. We haven't had decent onion on sandwiches and burgers and stuff in forever. If it's up to me, I'd keep some sliced in the refrigerator, but Bonnie thinks it stinks up the whole refrigerator.
It does. I always wrap them like 4 or 5 times in double containers and stuff.
Well, I think the secret is just decide when you cut the onion that you're going to use it all and don't even bother refrigerating it. Cut it into 4 quarters, put it in bags, eat one at a time, over the course of 2 days, and just be done with it.
Well, hopefully they'll have the vegan burgers in stock when we go and pick up groceries at 7 in the morning. And so you can put some on there. We got a couple more onion rings left in the bag. You know, it was really funny. When we had the kids in the house, I used to open a bag of onion rings and we would cook it all. And now, with it just being us, I'll put 4, 5 on the tray and cook them. And then so it lasts 3, 4 times as long.
Yeah, I think I've told this story many times. My mother used to buy the cheapest brand of vanilla ice cream, and that's all she would buy. And there used to be this brand called Friendly Farmer, and it was just rock bottom.
Was it
Anyway,
Dixie?
no, it was an actual brand that they sold in some of the independent grocery stores around here, like Bell's and so forth. But anyway, and I said one time, why do you buy nothing but vanilla and nothing but this cheap stuff? And she goes, if I buy anything good, you'll eat it all up. Or people in the house will eat it all up. I'm like, that's the point.
I still can't believe that story. For years, we used to buy nothing but Breyers, the vanilla bean. And then others began to up their game a little bit. I still prefer the Breyers, but we were not at Walmart when Peter and I went out on Thursday. And we had just bought a huge apple pie from Sam's Club. And I said, well, if you want, ice cream, you need to go and get it now, because I'm not going to buy a 5-gallon size ice cream from Sam's Club. So we went to Aldi and we got the cheap brand. How is that? Of course, I can't eat it.
I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
But I'm reminded, before Walmart came to this side of town, we used to shop at Kroger and Winn-Dixie. Mm-hmm. And this is when the kids were really little. But Winn-Dixie had some knockoff brand, and that's where we first discovered Moose Tracks. And we, as a family, fell in love with it for about a couple of years. They had a bunch of good ice cream there.
The thing about the Breyers was I started buying it not just for the flavor, but because it was just basically sugar and cream and the fruit or whatever it was. There were very few additives.
Well, that's
made the other ice creams gummy.
Right. Guar gum is one of them. But that kind of high-end ice cream is how I discovered you can put the ice cream in the bowl, and then you get like a spoonful of raspberry preserves and sort of drape it over the ice cream. It is fantastic. No, good ice cream.
Good. Oh.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Like some kind of fruit preserves and ice cream together. It's really good.
As good as the peach was for Breyers, it never met the homemade standards of my May and my granny's, because they would have the fresh peaches, they would peel them, slice them, sugar them, and then freeze them. And when it came time to make ice cream, they made it with one of those old-fashioned ice cream makers. You got the salt and ice and such. And oh my God, it was just, you put the peach in there, and the sugar has already made the syrup before freezing it. And so as it begins to thaw and get moved around, that sugar syrup from the peaches goes throughout it, and it tastes so good.
Yeah, I haven't had homemade ice cream in a long time.
Now, you guys had black walnut, right?
Black walnut, black cherry, what's that other stuff? Oh, God, what the hell? Oh, pecan. What the hell is it called?
Butter pecan?
Butter pecan.
Your family made butter pecan?
Oh, no, I thought you meant eating it. Just we'd buy this. My dad was a connoisseur of different kinds of ice cream.
The Ben and Jerry's, those type of brands of butter pecan are always the best.
They're so expensive. I rarely have had Ben and Jerry's in my life.
Peter got a
can't afford
strawberry cheesecake one yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
That was his thank you for going shopping with me. Yeah, and we compromised on the apple pie for 2 reasons. One, it had no dairy in it, so I could eat it. And 2, it had a longer shelf life Everything else was going to expire within 3 days. And when you're at Sam's Club and your option is an 18-inch pie or 36 cookies that are going to expire in 3 days, and only 2 of the 3 of you can eat it, we went with a pie. Mind you, I've only had one piece, but you know, it's pretty good. It's one of the better ones we've had.
It's okay for a grocery store pie, yeah. There's something I just saw in this little book I was going to read, and I
Can't find it.
closed it. No, I can't find it. Anyway, there's something about, I thought it was about tits. I can't.
Something about tits, eh?
Might have been. I can't.
The birds?
Oh, fuck. I'm trying to do this with one hand. I can't. Fuck it, I'm not going to look at it.
Okay.
So I got all my Guided by Voices albums today. I want to go through them. Such a big influence on me that I decided I must pay some tribute to them by listening again.
Lance came to me this week. He goes, "Would you teach me how to do something?" And of course, I went, "Okay, I don't really know how to do that, but let me sit down for 5 seconds and figure it out." It was, "Will you teach me how to make a playlist on YouTube?" And it's not something I do regularly, so I just sat down and clicked 2 buttons.
She's made tons of them, and I've never made one, and so she
Well,
finally showed
I
me.
went through all of his music on his YouTube channel several years ago and organized everything in a playlist. And since then, he's been utilizing them, but he came up with an idea this week.
So anyway, I thought, well, I get tired of using my liked list as like a reservoir of what I want to listen to in the next 5 days or so. So I decided to start just putting them on playlists. Like I got all of Hachi Juhachi, whatever the hell it is, and Ningen Isu on a playlist, you know, all that. So I decided, oh God, this is a way for me to do something I've wanted to do for a long time, which is do a greatest hits album of my stuff. So out of all the albums that I have on my YouTube channel that I've done over the years, I picked out 20 tracks, and I have a Greatest Hits Volume 1 playlist now on this channel.
Yay!
And
Hopefully in the next couple of weeks, he'll be uploading some of his CDs.
none of the albums that I did on, I've done 13
YouTube.
albums on CD, and none of those are online. I'm going to do the better ones, because some of them outright suck, to be honest with you. I used to sing in a really high voice for some reason, because I didn't think you could sing with enough volume unless you were singing high. And some of those songs
But I
are
convinced
just...
him that he had a lovely voice for singing. He didn't need to do the middle school girl Airy Fairy voice.
Probably what we're going to do is, we know we're going to upload in their entirety the 2 albums I did after my surgery, because those are
In
really...
2017.
You're right. And I don't know what we're going to do about the others.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Because some of that stuff is pretty funny. Woman Take Your Clothes Off is a good one.
You have a friend of yours that seemed to like some of the more humorous songs from those albums, right?
Yeah. There's another one.
There's several that make fun of your mom and your dad.
Well, those, you talk about the albums after those 2 I did after the surgery. Yeah.
Well, no, there are some ones before the surgery.
I don't know. I'd have to go through them. Those are painful to listen to, 'cause some of them are repetitive. But anyway, let's see how long we've been recording here. 44 minutes, not long.
But you said you wanted to keep it shorter now.
Well, is there anything else to mention?
Not really.
I'm going to try to go out to see my mother's grave next weekend. I finally got the directions how to get there.
So we'll just make.
Well, it's not a
afternoon
grave;
of it.
it's just a memorial
marker.
marker. Yeah.
Ashes
but the point,
are
well,
somewhere else. I don't
right.
know where.
But the point is, my grandparents' grave is in that same little tiny cemetery. So I haven't seen those in 40 years. So I'd like to see those.
Maybe we should take my car.
Can't listen to music in your
Oh,
car.
fuck, that's right. A stereo system
We
shit.
can listen to Iron Maiden the whole way up there and back.
Oh, I heard a song by them this week that I liked. I can't remember what it was though.
The Trooper.
How'd you know that?
That is like their most mainstream song,
Oh.
and the you know what it's about.
No, actually, I don't. I heard part of it on a TV show or something.
It's about the charge of the Light Brigade,
Oh.
and well, that's what the basis is. It
Yeah.
could be anybody dying on a battlefield, but just
Was
the
that
words.
Crimea?
Yeah, but the lyrics to that song are just fantastic. By the way, there's a new documentary about Iron Maiden coming out, and it looks fantastic. I sent it. I have
Really?
I have a friend who's a big Iron Maiden fan, and he's yeah, and I said, "Doesn't this look great?" And he said, "Yes, it does. I can't wait to see it." They're just.
Did Peter ever get into Iron Maiden?
I tried to get him into them when he was about 8, but it didn't take.
I didn't even talk to Megan while she was over today. I don't know how the progress is going on the house. But
I listened about 2 weeks ago. There's a scene in Slow Horses where Roddy Ho is waiting in his car down
Oh,
the road
yeah.
from the farmhouse where they're trying to rescue Catherine, and he's blaring Iron Maiden song Alexander the Great. And I thought, God, I haven't heard that in a long time. So I got the album out, which is Somewhere in Time, and I listened to a lot of that album. That's my favorite. No, yeah, it's my favorite Iron Maiden album, but I don't think it's their best. I think their best is Seventh Son. But anyway, the guitar solo on Wasted Years is just fucking phenomenal, and the song Alexander the Great is unbelievable. That album, Stranger in a Strange Land, is a great song. There's so many great songs on that record.
is it just the title from Heinlein's book, or is it, what is it? A
What?
Stranger in a Strange Land? Based on the book? or is there-
Every time I hear the song, have you ever seen the Timothy Hutton movie Iceman?
Yeah.
That's what it's more like to me, because the way it just
Really?
because was many years ago I came this way. I was a young man full of hopes and dreams, and he says something about being frozen in the ice, and
Now, is Stranger in a Strange Land by Heinlein the one about the guy from Mars that ends up owning Mars?
no, I think it's about an Earthling who was taken as a baby by aliens and raised to be a representative for their more advanced ways and to bring their message to Earth in a more palatable manner.
Oh my God, what was that science fiction book that we read where the aliens won't reveal themselves until the very end and they look like demons?
I have no idea.
They take all the children, it's something about children in the title. They take the children and they want to do an exchange program.
I've never read this.
Oh, I'm sure you have.
It sounds very vaguely
Anyway, this past week, J.D. Vance says something about aliens are probably demons, and I thought of that book.
I was telling Bonnie today, and this has probably been observed already. Many people, when Reagan was elected, many people were trying to tell us, we have elected an actor. It's not just that he was an actor, he is an actor. He knows nothing. He is a empty vessel to be used by corporate interest acting through him because he's an actor. I said that was bad enough 40 years ago. But today we've elected a cartoon character, and nobody seems to notice, and nobody seems to realize the implications that we have just decided to give up as a species. And we'd rather stick our heads in the virtual reality machine and wish away death and wish away our problems.
I heard something about J.D. Vance had asked the Pope to come to the July 4th celebration, and the Pope's office basically said, no, the Pope will be spending July the 4th with migrants. A big fuck you to this administration.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
And he came out on his speeches this week condemning the war. He's also reached out to not Netanyahu, but his counterpart in the Israeli government. I forget which one's the president, which one's the PM. and said, this war's got to stop, blah, blah, blah. I like the fact that the Pope has come out against the war.
When Trump was first elected, the first time, I made a cartoon from a press photo and put it on my blog. And it's the first meeting of Netanyahu with Trump. And I put a word balloon coming out of Netanyahu's mouth saying, "Now remember, the Christian God will take away his blessing from the United States of America unless you kiss my ass." And Trump is replying, I know, I've been thoroughly briefed by Franklin Graham. And that is what has happened, and what has happened even before Trump, because we have to be beholden. And it's not anti-Semitic to criticize the Israeli government. They
right.
don't speak for all Jewish people.
This past week, Franklin Graham came out once again going on about supporting President Trump, and he's God's chosen vessel. Oh my God, I just want to vomit.
They really, truly hate life, hate reality so much that they're hoping they can make everything on this planet as bad as possible, and therefore the Christian God will be forced to return and purge the earth by fire of the people they can't stand.
They want to create Armageddon. They want to drag us into this bullshit. And Pig's Breath, Pig's Death, Keg Breath, whatever his name is, said this week that he asked for Jesus Christ's blessing over this war. What the everlasting?
The Prince of Peace will bring us victory in war. All right, we're going to wrap this up because
It's getting depressing.
either I'm going to have to get some more caffeine, or I'm going to have
Crash.
to take it easy for. I don't know if I can actually sleep, but
We'll figure it out, dude.
now let's double check. Is there anything else we need to mention?
God, I hope not. I'm tired.
Oh, I know one thing. I just posted a re-recorded version of the song "A Marvelous Ubiquity in Every Box." I think it's really, really good. So you can check that out on my album, Safely Out of It. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.